What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to TTP Sports, and I would classify this game as the official end to the Philadelphia Phillies 2021 regular season. Phillies lose to the Atlanta Braves by a score of 7-2, and with this loss and the Braves win, the Braves' magic number to clinch the NL East goes down to one game. They can clinch it with a win tomorrow, with a chance to sweep the Phillies tomorrow. And, yeah. What a ride this season has been for this team. What an emotional roller coaster this season has been for the Philadelphia Phillies. And I would say they basically ended in Philadelphia Phillies fashion as they go into a very important series against the Atlanta Braves, and they lose the first two games in a series that they really needed to sweep because of the situation that they put themselves in. So, what can I say? Probably didn't expect any less out of this ball club. The offense struggling going into this series. Struggle yesterday, struggle tonight. And it sucks to see that Bryce Harper is also struggling during this series as well. He has 3 strikeouts tonight. He struck out twice last night. And I'm not going to bash Bryce Harper. The man has done basically everything for this team. Yeah, he's not coming up when it matters, especially in the series, but Bryce Harper is far from the problem. He's probably like 25th on my list with all the problems with the Philadelphia Phillies. And probably even lower on that list if you're even going to go that deep. We're not going to have this discussion that Bryce Harper is not the MVP for not showing up in this series. We're just not going to have that. I still believe he is my National League MVP, but take my opinion for whatever you think it's worth. I'm just a disappointed Philadelphia Phillies fan ranting about the team on goddamn YouTube. I think that's where I'm going to settle at that, but knowing me, I'll probably go on a little bit of a tangent at the end of this video, so either stay tuned for that or it's not going to happen at all. We're going to see how this thing goes. Go into this ball game, must-need win, Aaron Nola on the mound, and it basically feels like the last start for Aaron Nola in a Phillies uniform, and this start also feels very similar to the last start that he had against the Pittsburgh Pirates. He had that one bad inning, or one bad inning and a half, gave up 6 runs to the Pirates, and then he settles down the rest of the game. Aaron Nola, he gives up 2 runs in the first inning. He gives up a 3rd run later on as well, but then he settles down once again. I still wouldn't classify this as a good start from Aaron Nola. It's definitely one of his better starts that he's had in a while, but that's still not good enough. Granted, the offense didn't do anything. They only mustered 2 runs up. They had their chances in this ball game. They weren't able to come up clutch, sadly. But I still see this as possibly the final start in a Phillies uniform for Aaron Nola. I don't know what that means. Could they trade him? Well, basically the only thing that means is they trade him in the offseason, but that's probably another discussion for another day. Let's focus on the game at hand right here. And it just, like last night, this game, as it just went on when the Braves got that big inning in the bottom of the 7th, it just felt like, yeah, what a ride. What a ride, and it's finally come to this point where we're getting crushed by the Braves. It just kind of sucks. It does. Because even though I've said many times I don't have faith in this team to make the playoffs, because at the end of the day, I know who they are. I know who this team is at the end of the day. They are a borderline 500 team, and that's probably, honestly, they do have a chance to finish 81-81 if they do lose out the final 4 games of the season, which would be very hilarious and also very embarrassing at the same time. That actually will be very funny if that comes to fruition. If they somehow finish 81-81, I'm already like putting that into my mind, like thinking about like if they lose these final 4 games, this last game to the Braves and the 3-game series to the Miami Marlins. I'm already thinking about it right now and how livid the entire fan base would be. Honestly, that sounds hilarious in itself, but it just basically going back to this entire roller coaster of a regular season. It just basically feels like that entire thing. Get Austin Riley driving in a couple of runs for the Braves today, especially during that 7th inning where you have 2 defensive mistakes. You got Gene Segura with the off throw to get Jorge Soler, and then you got the single from Freddie Freeman that Odubel Herrera just terrible playing it. It just goes off the top of his glove. That's a play that cannot happen if you are a major league center field. If you're a major league player in general, that play just cannot happen because that's one of the plays that sparked that inning for the Braves. Even though who knows what would have happened during that entire... And I know people are going to complain, oh, why didn't Joe Girardi bring out Aaron Nola in the 7th inning? Why didn't Joe Girardi do this? Joe Girardi is the reason we lost this damn game. At that point, it's like last night. You are picking a problem to blame Joe Girardi on when you are looking at the roster in front of you. And I'm not saying Joe Girardi had a good game. I'm not saying Joe Girardi had a good season. But there are more problems, like I've said with Bryce Harper, there are more problems to this team, to this roster construction than Joe Girardi. Joe Girardi, not as low as Bryce Harper on the list of problems with this team. He's low, not as low as Bryce Harper, but he's still the least of my goddamn worries. He hasn't had a good season, but he's still not the main problem with this team. You put any other manager in this standpoint, the Phillies are the same team. They are a 500 team. That's how poorly this roster is constructed. Money is spent in the wrong places. You don't have that good of a rotation. You don't have that good of a pitching staff in the bullpen. And you can't build around players like Bryce Harper. Yeah, I was one of the people that said you needed to sign JT. A lot of us were. But right now it's looking like a bat just because of how bad JT has been this year. Even though he is basically batting to his career average. Even though the past couple of seasons he has been better, but he is not playing up to the standard of what he is getting paid. So right now the JT contract is not looking good. Do I expect the Phillies to do anything with that? No, I expect them to keep him here next season. He's most likely going to be our starting catcher. I don't see the Phillies moving on from him. If there were a chance to move on from JT and just get an average quality catcher to spend money in the right places, maybe I would look into that situation. But still, another discussion for another day, even though I'm probably going to go on that tangent in the next couple of minutes. Just this game. Offense, quiet. Aaron Nola struggles in the first inning. Struggles. Jorge Soler, he leads off with a single. Freddie Freeman then gets a single. Ozzie Albies manages to line out to Odubel Herrera, but then Austin Riley drives in Soler to make it a 1-0 lead. And then Adam Duvall, he grounds into a force out, making it 2-0. The Phillies do respond, though, in the top of the second inning. Matt Vierling, he gets a single with 2 outs. Didi Gregorius gets a single with 2 outs. So you got 2 runners on. Matt Vierling went over to third base. And then you get Ronald Torreyes on a hustle play. It was a tough ground ball for Ozzie Albies. Slides in safe to first. The throw was very terrible. And it makes it a 2-1 ballgame. Aaron Nola does come up during that inning as well with 2 outs. And he can't get anything done. Then the Braves, they respond in the bottom of the third inning. Ozzie Albies, he leads off the inning with a single. And then Eddie Rosario manages to drive him in with an RBI double with 2 outs. Ozzie Albies was running on the pitch. He was gone from the get-go, and he scored from first base, making it a 3-1 ball game. The Phillies in the top of the 6th inning, they managed to get another run home. Odubel Herrera, he leads off the inning with a double off the right field wall. And then you get a pass ball during Gene Segura's at bat, allows Odubel Herrera to go to third base. And then Gene Segura grounds out, scores Odubel Herrera, makes it a 3-2 ball game. Go bottom 7. This is when the Braves have their big inning. Jorge Soler, this is when Jose Alvarado is on the mound to start it. Jorge Soler singles, Ozzie Albies singles. So you get a second and third situation because this is during the entire thing where, the first batter, Jorge Soler, the terrible throw by Gene Segura, could have got you an out there. It didn't. Then, even though I did say Freddie Freeman earlier in the video, it's Ozzie Albies that got the single to center field. Odubel Herrera, just a play that you just can't happen in Major League Baseball, allows Albies to go to second base and allows Jorge Soler to go to third base. So you got a second and third situation with 1 out. Joe Girardi elects to go to the bullpen, brings in Hector Neris. First batter he faces, Austin Riley, doubles down the left field line, scores 2 runs, makes it a 5-2 ball game. Neris gets the second out, striking out Duvall, but then he walks Eddie Rosario, then he walks Travis d'Arnaud. So you got bases loaded for Sam Coonrod. Dansby Swanson comes in because Joe Girardi elected to bring in Sam Coonrod after Hector Neris walked the bases loaded. First pitch to Dansby Swanson from Sam Coonrod. Single, 7-2 ball game. And then he walks Job Peterson. Bases are loaded once again. And then he gets the final out by getting Jorge Soler to ground out. And those would be your final runs of this ballgame. The Phillies had a chance to maybe crack into the lead in the top of the 8th inning. Alec Boehm, he pinch hit for Sam Coonrod. He got hit by the pitch. Odubel Herrera then doubled, so he got a second and third situation for Gene Segura. He battled in his at-bat, but he managed to strike out, so there's 2 outs for Bryce Harper. And yeah, not the best at-bat from Bryce Harper. He did definitely have a pitch he could hit, though. A pitch that he could drive. Pops it up. First pitch, swinging. And that's a chance for Gene Segura and Bryce Harper to come up clutch during this game, and they don't. And Bryce Harper, for this game, he went 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts and that pop-up. And yet, I'll get into Bryce Harper a little bit later, even though I said in the beginning of the video I might not. I kind of feel like I am going to go on a tangent with Bryce Harper just because, I feel like it is going to be that discussion with this series is coming to a close. The MVP discussions and all that. And, I feel like going on a tangent because, I'm a little peeved from this game, too. So, why not? Why the fuck not? Let's go to the stats from the pitching and the box score for the batting. Aaron Nola, 6 innings, 7 hits allowed, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. Just basically the same exact start that he had against the Pirates, just he allowed less runs. He struggled in that 1 inning, and then he managed to, settle down the rest of the game. I still wouldn't qualify that as a good start from Aaron Nola. Jose Alvarado only got 1 out in his inning of work, allowed 2 hits, 2 earned runs, because that's what happened when Neris came into the ballgame. Neris was only able to record 1 out, allowed a hit, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 1 strikeout. Sam Coonrod got the final out of his inning in the 7th, allowed 1 hit, he walked 1. Connor Brogdon was basically the only pitcher to have a very solid outing in the 8th, went the full inning, and struck out 1. 1, 2, 3. To the lineup. Odubel Herrera goes 2 for 4 with a run scored. Gene Segura goes 0 for 4 with an RBI in this ball game. Bryce Harper, like I said earlier, he goes 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts in this game. JT Realmuto goes 0 for 4 with a strikeout. Andrew McCutchen goes 0 for 4 with a strikeout. Matt Vierling goes 1 for 4 with a run scored. Didi Gregorius goes 1 for 3. Ronald Torreyes goes 1 for 3 with an RBI. Aaron Nola goes 0 for 2. Go figure. Alec Boehm, in his only pinch hit plate appearance, he got hit by the pitch. In terms of runners in scoring position, the Phillies did not have that much. They were 1 for 5 with runners in scoring position, and they left 4 runners on base. To the final game of this series, which is going to be tomorrow night, it's going to be Kyle Gibson going up against Ian Anderson, and the Braves have a chance to clinch the National League East with a win tomorrow. Can the Phillies survive? I know technically they're not eliminated yet, because if you look at the standings, if you want to go technically here, Phillies are 81-77, 4.5 games behind the Atlanta Braves, and their elimination number is 1. Technically, there's still a chance. It's not happening. It's not happening at all. Oh boy, this goddamn Phillies team, this goddamn Phillies season. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And probably I probably will do, when the season comes to a close, like my entire thoughts, recapping this entire season in one video, like the crucial moments, talking about everything like that, and what went wrong, and maybe what I think needs to change with this ball club. There's definitely a lot to talk about when it comes to the offseason, but we'll get to that when that happens, even though we're probably getting very close to the offseason since, 1 game and you're 1 loss and you're eliminated tomorrow. So basically, we're just going to have to wait and see what happens. So, talking about Bryce Harper in this series, yes, he needs to be better. He hasn't come up clutch for us in this series. Didn't get a hit yesterday. He still got on base with a walk. Still not good enough. In this game, he goes over 4 with the 3 strikeouts. He struck out 5 times, I believe, in these first 2 games. And yeah, Bryce Harper, still, even though if you want to go at last night's game, he let off a lot in a lot of the innings that his at-bats were in. So he really never had any chances last night with runners in scoring position. Tonight, he did have a chance in that 8th inning with the 2 runners on base, and he popped up on the first pitch. It's basically, I'm going to come down to something that I said a couple of days ago when Bryce Harper didn't have his best night. I think it was a game against possibly the Pirates, or I think one of those games against the Baltimore Orioles where he didn't record a hit. It's one of those things where Bryce Harper cannot do every single thing. Bryce Harper has carried this team on his back since the All-Star break. He's been carrying his team on his back for this entire goddamn season, especially since the All-Star break, because his numbers get drastically better to pull himself into the MVP conversation, and he's most likely still the MVP favorite going towards the end of this season. And maybe the votes are going to be swayed a little bit because Bryce Harper hasn't done anything this series, but in my honest opinion, take it for how you want. I still believe he's the MVP. I still believe he is the favorite. He's still favorited among Vegas. He's still favorited among the odds, even though, Vegas does tend to get things right if you want to look at it at that standpoint, but you know what I mean. So if you look at Bryce Harper pre-All-Star break, numbers were pretty solid. 282 average, 378 on base percentage, 520 slugging percentage, and an 899 OPS. 15 home runs, 34 RBIs, 70 hits. Very decent numbers. But then when you go post-All-Star break, the numbers drastically get better, and this is one of the main reasons why he drug himself into the MVP conversation. 336 average, 480 on-base percentage, a 712 slugging percentage, and an 1192 OPS. 48 RBIs, 19 home runs, 1 triple, 26 doubles, 76 hits in total. The man has been on fire, and he's walked a good amount of times as well. He has 64 walks. Post-All-Star break, he only had 35 during the pre-All-Star break, so he's getting on base a lot more. And Bryce Harper, for his full season stats right here to combine the pre- and the post-All-Star break, he has a 308 average, a 430 on-base percentage, and a 1041 OPS, 82 RBIs, 34 home runs. The man has been electric for this team. And I know, definitely the trolls and all that, all the people that don't believe Bryce Harper, all the overrated Bryce Harper crowd, are definitely going to get a crack out of this series. The man is still the MVP. I know Juan Soto is putting up unreal numbers, and he's definitely going to win an MVP sometime during his career. I just personally do not believe that a player that is on a last place team, not saying a player that is on a non-postseason team, a player that is specifically on a last place team, should not win the MVP. I know his numbers are unreal. They are. But Bryce Harper is nowhere, well, the Phillies actually are nowhere close to the spot that they're in right now without Bryce Harper. That is a fact. Without Bryce Harper, this team is probably 10, 15, 20 games below 500. That's how many times Bryce Harper has had to carry this team on his back. So there is my Bryce Harper tangent for this video. I still believe he's the MVP, and that's where I'm going to leave it there. And I think this is where I'm probably going to leave the video off as well. So I want to hear your thoughts on this team, on this video, on this just season in general. Do you still think Bryce Harper is the MVP? Do you think this series right here with the Braves maybe drug some votes off of him a little bit? I want to hear all your thoughts down in the comment section below, so don't forget to leave those down there. Do not forget to drop a like on this video. Do not forget to check out the Painted Lines, which I'm a part of. Their links are down in the description below. Also, don't forget to check out the links to Broads Media, the Flyer.pod merch website, and also Flyers Nitty Gritty. All that good stuff is down in the description below. Definitely do not forget to check those out. And the most important thing you can do is hit that subscribe button, because I will greatly appreciate that. And I will see you next time.